Am I the butthole for not punishing my daughter for mocking her cousin? My wife and her younger sister are best friends. As a result, when our middle daughter and her cousin were born around the same time, my wife really expected them to also be best friends. With 16 years of hindsight, I can say with certainty that the expectation was misplaced. Nothing happened in particular. My daughter just doesn't like her cousin. My wife keeps pushing the relationship. This includes making my daughter spend time with her cousin during family gatherings, inviting her cousin on trips, forcing my daughter to call her. We're pretty sure I'm the favorite parent, a fact that keeps my ego well inflated, and, therefore, my apathy towards the situation is not well received by my wife. From my perspective, this isn't important, and I do not possess the ability to make two teenagers become friends. I'm also pretty sure that trying to push this kind of knuckleheaded stuff makes kids not want to speak to you. This is where I'm probably a butthole. Yesterday, my wife forced my daughter to video call her cousin. My daughter rejected to request, and my wife told her, "Unless you have a valid reason for disliking your cousin, you will do this because we're family." The call occurred. This morning, we awoke to a PowerPoint presentation titled Valid Reasons to Dislike Cousin. Using clips from the Zoom call, segments included Why is cousins' voice so grating? A music theory approach, a case study, conversations that provide no value, rethinking the idea that there are no dumb questions, etc. With the benefit of a couple of hours of hindsight, it was a very cruel takedown of her cousin's entire personality. My wife was furious. My eldest daughter and I lost our crap laughing. My wife is demanding I support her in punishing my daughter for bullying her cousin. I have refused because I feel this whole situation wouldn't have occurred if she didn't push the relationship, but I'm starting to have second thoughts because it was very mean. Am I the butthole? NTA. Your wife is TA for forcing a 16-year-old to spend time with someone she doesn't like. The 16-year-old's response to your wife, "She didn't tell the cousin this, I presume," is as hilarious as it is the fault of the adults forcing their relationship. I'm also not convinced that the cousin is down with this either, considering that the daughter is so clearly unhappy with spending time with her. Seriously. My 16-year-old self would have thrown a hissy and stomped around. Ops kid is clever as all get out. She put together her thoughts in a concise and organized way. NTA. Daughter is also taking this up with her mom, who is the one disrespecting her clear and repeated no. It's not like she called the cousin back up with the "you suck." Right, plus the mom literally asked her for valid reasons why she didn't like the cousin. This may even belong in our /malicious compliance because it's pretty amazing. Reddit link. This is definitely our /malicious compliance and I am in utter awe. Ops daughter is brilliant. Reddit link. I aspire to be half this brilliant someday, and I'm about twice Ops daughter's age. Op, you need to have a serious talk with your wife about why she's so obsessed with trying to force your daughter to play friends with her cousin and if she thinks this obsession of hers is more important than having a relationship with her daughter. So long as your daughter isn't being rude or nasty to get cousin at family gatherings, she's not doing anything wrong. NTA, and adding my vote to taking this story to our /malicious compliance, Reddit link. I haven't seen anywhere that the cousin saw the PowerPoint. If she hasn't, how is it bullying? Definitely NTA. You can't force anyone to like anyone or anything. Period. I would say if cousin didn't see it then it's not direct bullying. But fact that her older sister also saw it makes the line a little blurred for me without more context. If it was just parents, fine, she is responding to a question posed by mom. No reason to include sister though unless intent was to embarrass mom and or cousin. Which is a teaching opportunity as a family on how to respectfully disagree and set boundaries and allow the teen some independence. If this is bullying of any kind, I put the blame squarely on the mom, not the kids. Those girls don't want to bully anyone, they want to be left alone. The mom demanded that the girl come up with valid reasons to not be friends, practically forcing the girl to come up with something like this. Frankly, I'd say to the mom's face, "You bullied, indirectly, by forcing your daughter to come up with material that equates to bullying. It's bully by proxy." What I think the mother has missed is that "I just don't like the person" is a valid reason to not like a person. It doesn't have to involve anything objective that we all agree upon. It could just be that when two people are together, For one of them, it sucks due to chemicals in the brain that do not deliver serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, or any of the other happy body reactions. And maybe, when that person looks at the door leading away, or thinks about getting away from the other person, then suddenly and inexplicably the endorphins or other happy chemicals trigger, and that person really wants to leave. Why does the brain do that? Well, in some cases maybe it's completely arbitrary and impossible to explain, with no logic. But it still happens. And that's valid enough. I don't think this mom gets that. Ditto. Op and Op's daughter are NTA. And, as with many of the posts there, its effectiveness stems from the fact that Op's wife only asked the question as a way to twist her arm and never intended it to be answered, and Op's kid subverted those expectations by taking it at face value. Exactly. Op's wife literally asked for it. She said a call would happen unless she could give her a valid reason for disliking her cousin. How can Op's wife seriously try to punish her for giving her exactly what she asked for? Even just demanding valid reasons would make mom TA. You do not need to justify why you feel what you do about someone. I agree. I think that's why the daughter made sure to put valid in the title of the PowerPoint. I love that the daughter did it. I do, too. I just hope none of it makes its way to the cousin. She's innocent as well, but I doubt her mother isn't. I came here to say this exact thing. Mom asked her to give her valid reasons and daughter obliged. Mom is the here. Original post is NTA. The idea that you can make a teenage girl be friends with someone by force is silly. The cousin might actually not even be that bad, and there is a good chance once both are older they can connect better. Certainly happened to me. There is one cousin with whom we even had fistfights a few times. Our parents basically laughed it off, but back then I seriously hated him. He was a big fat cheater. Fast forwards 20 years, now we're pretty good buds, brings his kids to play with mine, barbecue, that kind of stuff. I believe this is one of the clear situations where forcing something might make it even less likely to happen in the future. Exactly this. Kids hate being told they have to be friends with someone. My mom had a friend with kids close in age to my brother and me that she tried to force friendship with. Looking back, I can see that there wasn't necessarily anything wrong with them, but I absolutely hated the visits because of the forced friendship attempt. Or the opposite. I was really close to a couple of cousins growing up. As adults, we don't like each other very much. We play nice when we see each other, but that is where it ends. Teenage guy here, have been a kid too, and in both cases I can confirm that trying to force us to be friends with bad people, people we don't get along with, is something our parents should never try to do. Thankfully, this essentially never happened, but I can only imagine the resentment for everyone involved if it were to have happened. NTA op. If your daughter sent it to the cousin, that would be different, but she didn't. It's hilarious. Not the big person approach, but your daughter is a teen and her mother is overpowering her free will and refusing to accept her more polite communication. Poor phrasing. Exactly. My cousin is 3 years younger than me and we hated each other when we were younger. Now I'm 22 and she's turning 19 in December and we are closer than ever, like sisters. The bully here is your wife, Op. She disrespects your daughter regularly by refusing to accept that she has her own interests and desires, and that they don't need to, mirror those of her mother. It sounds like your wife is either insecure, can't accept that it's okay that someone might like something different and that it's not a referendum on her, or selfish, places her desires and fantasies about multi-generational besties as more important than her own daughter's desires, not to mention controlling by forcing a teenager to regularly socialize with someone they don't enjoy, and then punishing her for expressing her own feelings. Has she ever been willing to think about why her daughter prefers you? I truly hope you show her your post here and the replies. If she doesn't see the light soon, she can look forward to a limited and distant relationship with your daughter in the future, which is really sad for everyone. Edit, not the butthole in any way for you or your daughter. Sadly, your wife is definitely TA here. Edit 2, thanks for the awards. This is so on point. Were mom and her younger sister forced to become friends, or did that happen naturally? I can honestly see it happening where neither of the cousins wants to hang out with each other, but their mothers keep forcing it, similar to arranged marriages. Plus, there's a decent chance of the cousins getting along as adults if they're given their space as kids. I have a same-age cousin I didn't get along that well with as a teenager, and none of our family pushed the relationship, they just let us get on with it. We're now in our mid-20s and actually pretty good friends. All Op's wife is doing here is ruining any chance of a good adult relationship between these two girls. My mom used to force me to take my younger sister everywhere with me, because supposedly her older sister did that and it was so wonderful. She made the mistake of telling me that in front of her sister once, and her sister said, "Yeah, it was because mom paid me." Didn't change a damn thing for me, but the whole thing made me absolutely hate my little sister for most of my teen years. No 16-year-old girl wants to be toting along her 11-year-old tattletale sister, and nobody else wants that girl around either. It sucks, so I was mean to my sister, which made her be as big of a whiny brat and tattletale as she could be. It was horrible. Thankfully now that we're adults we get along great, but oh man, I couldn't stand her when we were kids. I had the exact same thing happen growing up, except my younger sister was and still is the golden child. She was a tremendous pain in my entire body. As adults we get along better, but now, since she married a guy with money and they live hundreds of miles away, whenever they come to town it's like the trumpets blare, and we're supposed to go kiss her ring and let her find as much fault as she possibly can with me. Such good times. She's a major reason that I fall into a deep depression from the end of October to the end of April. I have PTSD from some of the crap she did to me or from how my mom thought she could do no wrong, and I paled in comparison to her bright gold light. Your wife is a TA for forcing this and she's not doing her relationship with her daughter any good. Please original post make your wife see reason so the torture she inflicts on your daughter stops. Anyone who tries to attack you for armchair therapy can preemptively F off. This is incredibly on point. My mom always tried to force me to be friends with her kids' friends, my cousins. I don't like a single one of them. It's even worse because she's bullying her young adult daughter to befriend her cousin. That is something you can try with toddlers, but not someone who has made it very clear over the years how they feel. I have to wonder how many other ways she is trying to live through her daughter. It can't be healthy. I'd also just like to say, I feel incredibly bad about laughing. She just started with a music theory lecture about some special discordant chord. Then, she had a video of the chord that immediately went into a Zoom clip of her cousin producing the same notes. I just couldn't hold it in. Tell her I'm impressed and like her more. There is only one thing you need to now do: delete that PowerPoint and never tell. Think of it as a family secret. A secret between them three and thousands of people on Reddit, few but good. I didn't get to see the bloody PP, did I? So yeah. Secret, I'm bitter. Took our advice of deleting it, but damn, I wanted to see it. I don't know about you, but I don't want to see a bloody PP. I'm with you. I want to see it so bad. If original post sends it out, put me on the list. Seriously though. NTA. It seems like your daughter tried everything she could think of to make this stop. And maybe figured if she pissed mom off and was rude, even rude not to her face, that mom would stop, as mom may fear bad behavior directed towards the cousin, which would affect mom's relationship with her sister. It's a well thought out plan. Creative. And really lashing out in the best way. I hope mom listens. Agreed. This thing needs to be deleted and never spoken of again. It is only NBD if the cousin never learns about it. If the cousin learns about it, it would be so bad. This would be pretty devastating for any teenager to hear about. Well. Cynical we knows the truth. 3 will keep the secret, but original post wife will tell her best friend and cousin/sister will know. If she does, it just solidifies her as the butthole. There is only one way for 3 people to keep a secret. You know what you have to do. Or you can just delete the PowerPoint and all agree to never tell anyone, especially close friends, sisters. Let's be honest, Op's wife will tell her best friend, sister. NTA. Unless your daughter sent this presentation to her cousin, or shared it with anybody else, it isn't bullying. What is she to be punished for? Doing what your wife asked and gave reason S, for why she dislikes her cousin? Having no chemistry/a dislike for another person and not wanting to spend her time on that person? For having an opinion that differs from her mother's? Talk to your daughter and make sure her presentation is deleted, as it would be terrible should others get their hands on it. Your daughter is almost an adult and your wife is pushing her away with her demands. By the way, your daughter sounds wonderful, your wife not so much. Plus, I'm pretty sure that pushing the best friends relationship on the girls makes them feel even more reluctant to become closer. On some level, it may not even have much to do with cousin, at least not originally. If Op's wife's reasoning is you two are going to be best friends because your moms are best friends, and you are obligated to turn out exactly like your mom. And Op's wife is a difficult person, I'd certainly resent the expectation that I emulate her for the rest of my life too. And I'd probably be more petulant about it than Op's daughter, who sounds smarter and more self-possessed than someone that age with that mother has any right to be. NTA. Your daughter did exactly what her mom asked. Heck, she took the time to make a whole freaking presentation. I agree that the only way she'd be TA is if she sent it. But there is no reason for her to be in trouble as it is. I hope your wife will leave her alone about this relationship. As they get older, they very well could form a relationship, but that is less and less likely if your daughter is continually forced to hang out with her under duress. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.